Good afternoon, students. So, last we saw cement and ceramic industry unit. Today we will be starting a new unit, dyes and intermediate industries, including paint, pigment, and varnishes. So, we will be seeing about classification of dyes, its types, and manufacturing of some important dyes such as indigo dyes. Then we will see classification of pigments and paints, and again production of some important varnishes and pigments. So today we will start with classification of dyes, and they are classified on the basis on a number of bases, on the basis of its application, or sometimes on the basis of its compositions also. So we will start with what is the meaning of dye. So dyes are colored organic compounds that are used to impart color to various substrates, including paper, leather, fur, hair, drugs, cosmetics, waxes, greases, plastics, and textile materials. Means fibers. Our clothes, the colored clothes that we have, are in a way all dyed. Dye is a colored compound normally used in solution, which is capable of being fixed to a fabric. So frequently the color of product is the reason for its sale. A dyed product is more likely to be sold rather than a non-dyed. So some dyes have special uses also, apart from only coloring these substrates like paper, fur, fabric, etc. Some dyes have special uses such as radiation detection. Specific color dye can help in detecting radiations, and photosensitive dyes are used for papers and posters. The purpose is usually to help the consumer, help the purchaser or manufacturer to sell the product to his customer. So dye sales in 1980 were around, these are global figures, were around $600 million every per annum every year. So to be of use, dyes must possess following properties. These are the 4 properties which are important for a dye to be of good use. So first is color. It should be of the color should be sharp and clear, and solubility in water. It should be soluble in water so that we can immerse these substrates and dye them as well. Next is ability to be absorbed and retained by fiber, or to be chemically combined with it so that it does not it cannot be removed. So it should bond properly with the fiber. Ability to withstand washing, dry cleaning, and exposure to light also. The dye should be able to should not come out after washing, dry cleaning, or in sunlight. So the color in the dye is due to the presence of chromophore and its fixed property to acid or basic groups such as OS, SO3H, NH2, NR2, etc. because of the presence of these groups. The polar oxochrome makes the dye water soluble and binds the dye to the fabric by interaction with oppositely charged groups of fabric structures. The binding particle or bonding property of dye is because of the polar oxochrome present, and it makes the dye water soluble. Next we will see classification of dyes. So it is possible to classify dyes on a number of bases. So some manufacturers, or also it is dependent upon manufacturer also how the classification is done, but the easiest or we can say most convenient type of classification is based on its application. So on the basis of application, dyes are classified as acid dyes, azoic dyes, basic dyes, direct, dispersed, fiber reactive, fluorescent, food and cosmetic colors, mordant, solvent, and wet dyes. We will see in detail almost all of them in detail. So we will see classification of dyes now. No single class of dye can dye all type of fibers, and a specific class of dye can only be used to given type of substrate. Not only fiber, any material which is to be dyed. So for cellulosic fibers, that is natural type of fibers, direct dyes, azoic dyes, reactive, sulfur and wax. These 5 types of dyes can be used for cellulosic fibers. Cellulosic fibers means we can say cotton, wool, those type of fibers. So first class of dye is direct dye. Its general description is it is simple in application, cheap, complete color range, moderate color fastness, but can be improved by after treatment with copper salts and cationic fixing agents. So all in all it is a good, but if we want to improve its efficiency or improve its color fastness, we can do an after treatment with copper salts to improve its properties. And the main application is in cellulosic fibers such as wool, silk and rayon. So they are also, as the name suggests, cellulosic dyes are direct dyes are types of cellulosic dyes. They are used for natural fibers like cotton, viscose, silk, also some synthetic fibers such as nylon. And it is very easy to dye, only requires cooking salt and very hot to boiling water. These have good light fastness but only moderate wash fastness. So this type of dyes tend to lose little bit of color on washing. It is possible to improve on wash fastness by after treatment of dyed article with dye fixing agents, such as we saw here, after treatment of copper salt and cationic fixing agents is beneficial. These dyes are principally used for not so expensive products or products with fewer washes such as t-shirts, curtains and theatre productions. So they are relatively used for cheaper products which are not used for high-end products. These are the colors included in direct dyes. You can see. So yellow, pink, brown, all these colors which we can see here are type of direct dyes. Next type of class of dye is azoic dye. Complicated. Its some properties are complicated application and limited color range. So red, orange, navy are some of the examples of azoic dye, and these are all bright shades. And the cost is moderate. Generally good wet fastness, but moderate to poor dry cleaning and rubbing fastness. So in dry cleaning it tends to lose color. Also called naphthol dye due to the use of naphthol or ice color because of the usage of ice during application. Main applications are cellulosic fibers, especially on brilliant red shade. Azo dye synthesis. So how these are synthesized. So we can see two colors are coupled and the third colored dye is obtained. Blue component can be coupled with yellow or green component to form two different dye stuffs. Next type is azoic. Again same, continue, azoic dye. The word azoic is the distinguishing name given to insoluble azo dyes that are not applied directly as dyes but are actually produced within the fiber itself. So they are not externally produced and then dyed on the our substrate or fiber, but these dyes are generated within the fiber directly. This is done by impregnating the fiber with one component of the dye followed by treatment in another component, thus forming dye within the fiber. So we introduce one of the dyeing component on the fiber and followed by treatment on the other component, that is on our dye component, thus forming dye. So compound coupling will take place and the dye will be generated within the fiber, means on the fiber. Formation of this insoluble dye within the fabric makes it very fast to washing. Deposition of dye on the surface of fiber produces poor rub fastness. So when we rub the fabric or fiber, it can easily come off. But once the loose dye is removed by boiling the fabric in soap, dyeing becomes one of the fastest available. So this is up until we have not washed it, but once it is loose dye, from the top layer dye, that means is removed by boiling the fabric with soap, the dyeing becomes one of the fastest available. So most strong binding. Azoic dyes, it is normally dyed in cold for all natural fibers. Naphthol dyes are not sold in the form of finished dye, but in form of their components which combine on the fiber to produce a water insoluble azo dye of exceptional fastness properties. So these are not, as we said, they are not externally prepared for selling. They are sold as parts, in the parts of components. They are sold as different components, and these components are the fiber or fabrics are impregnated with one of the components, and other component is used for treatment. So these are the examples of azo dyes. As you can see, mostly bright shades are there. A lot of red, a lot of shades of red we can see, like brilliant red, crimson red, deep red, and all those. Next class is wet dyes. It is one of the most commonly and extensively used class of dyes. Difficult to apply, requires reduction treatment to make soluble in water and oxidation to resume insoluble state after dyeing. This is the most expensive type of dye, and it is very difficult to apply because it needs special treatment before using to make it soluble, and then again oxidation is to be done to make it insoluble after application. Incomplete color range and good all-round fastness except indigo and sulfurized wax species, tending to decrease in popularity due to increasing use of reactive dyes. So nowadays it is tending to decrease in its application due to increasing popularity of reactive dyes. So most commonly used for high quality cotton goods, cotton fabrics such as in towels, especially used in dyeing of denim as well, that is our jeans. Indigo, probably the oldest dye known to man, is one of the most important members of this group. Indigo dye is a type of white dye, and natural indigo extracted from plant Indigofera tinctori was used by Egyptians in 200 BC. So this is one of the oldest dyes known to mankind, which falls in the category of white dyes. The first synthetic indigo was introduced to textile trade in 1897. And it was used as early as in 200 BC by the Egyptians. So the first synthesis of indigo was done in 1897, and had the effect of completely replacing the natural indigo. So it became so much popular that natural indigo, this synthetic indigos, became the most popular one. Although these wet dyes may be divided into 3 chemical groups, they are similar in that they are insoluble in water, become water soluble when reduced in the presence of alkali. After dyeing, the fabric is oxidized and dye again becomes water insoluble. This is one of the problems with wet dyes. Because of time consuming and costly producing procedure, dye manufacturer produces stabilized water soluble wet dye. So these water soluble wet dyes can be applied to cotton and viscose rayon by methods used by applying direct cotton dyes. And after the procedure, simple treatment restores the wet dye to its normal insoluble form. So this is better than reduction and oxidation process before and after dyeing. So solubilized wet dyes have an affinity for cellulose and animal fibers. Applications of wet dyes. They are applications or uses. They are used in cotton dyeing where high wash and boil fastness is required. Because of high alkali concentration in the dye, pure wet dyes cannot be used on animal fibers. So wool, natural silk, and such fur on all these types of fiber, this type of dye cannot be used. Bright red is absent in wet dye range. Solubilized wet dyes not requiring the presence of alkali can be used for dyeing on natural animal fibers. So the original dye cannot be used, but if we make the solubilized version of wet dye as it was prepared to avoid the reduction and oxidation steps, that solubilized upgraded wet dye can be used on animal fibers. Because they are dyed at low temperatures, they are used in Indonesian batik dyeing for green shades. When it is ultimately washed and boiled, fatness is required in wet dyes. Also used for dyeing over fiber reactive dyes for multi-layered dyeing. So used along with the combination of other type of dye for multi-layering. These are the color mostly included in wet dyes. So we saw various types of dyes, and we'll continue about same other types of dyes in next lecture. Same this classification we will be continuing.